South Africa views the intimidation and harassment of the Special Rapporteur on the human rights situation in the Palestinian territory, occupied since 1967, Ms. Francesca Albanese, in a serious light, and calls on those responsible for such to desist their unlawful actions.
Right. So yesterday, which is on the 5th of April, the United Nations Human Rights Council, they adopted a resolution which urged for a ban on arms sale to Israel in the wake of the genocidal campaign that the Netanyahu regime is carrying out in Gaza. So that was the context why the United Nations Human Rights Council, they adopted this resolution. So there were lots of speakers. Pakistani representative spoke, the representative from Algeria spoke, and various others from various countries. However, the notable amongst them was the speaker from South Africa. I mean, one country that has really been consistent on this issue all along, whether going to ICJ or this one. Amazing, simply amazing. And you have to listen to the speech of the South African ambassador. Two things he focused. He talked about the genocidal campaign that Israel has launched. He also slammed and lashed out at the Western countries like the USA and the UK for their double standard and hypocrisy and the silence. He highlighted how there is a parallel law, international law being enacted for Israel. Another important point that he made was the intimidation being issued to Francesca Albanese. You know Francesca Albanese? I mean, amazing lady, the lady who just came out with the report recently and who first said that the acts, the brutal acts that Israel is committing in Gaza has now crossed the threshold of genocide. That also featured prominently in his speech, and he warned the Western nations to stay away, to refrain from issuing any intimidation to Francesca Albanese. Listen to him.
Thank you, Mr. President. South Africa wishes to express its appreciation to the OIC and the mission of the State of Palestine for tabling L30, as this is the very first time that this Council will take action on the unprecedented onslaught taking place in Gaza. Our silence has been truly deafening, with some displaying double standards and the height of hypocrisy. In just over 180 days, at least 32,975 Palestinians have been killed, including 14,500 children. These figures, however, provide only a glimpse of the untold human suffering taking place on our watch. Yet while the Council has been silent, the special procedure mechanisms that support its work have not been bowed. South Africa salutes their unwavering commitment to amplify the voices of the victims, despite being subjected to unconscionable threats and abuse. Indeed, they warned the Council as far back as 16 November that the grave violations being committed against the Palestinian people pointed to a genocide in the making. Their efforts are embedded in South Africa's papers before the ICJ. They informed the determination of the court concerning the plausible risk of genocide, together with its subsequent orders, including its most recent order, which was issued on 28 March in response to the significant deterioration in the situation. Their efforts are also embedded in a number of other interventions that are taking place, including the recent decision by the UN Security Council. South Africa views the intimidation and harassment of the Special Rapporteur on the human rights situation in the Palestinian territory, occupied since 1967, Ms. Francesca Albanese, in a serious light, and calls on those responsible for such to desist their unlawful actions. Mr. President, the work of the special procedure mechanisms will be particularly important going forward for purposes of the collection and preservation of evidence that lies at the heart of ensuring accountability and justice, which is precisely what L13 seeks to achieve. It is only through ensuring accountability and justice that we can end the impunity that has entrenched the ongoing unlawful occupation together with its apartheid policies, as well as discharge our solemn obligation under the Genocide Convention, which enjoins us to prevent and punish those responsible for genocide. It therefore remains crucial that we ensure that Israel respects and implements ICJ orders together with UNSC resolutions demanding an immediate and lasting ceasefire, which L30 will no doubt contribute in securing. We can no longer choose to apply a parallel system of international law to Israel, nor can we be complicit in facilitating its actions. For international law to be credible, it must be uniformly applied. It must serve the victims that it is designed to protect, rather than those with power who treat it with contempt. South Africa therefore calls on members of this Council to bring an end to any selectivity and double standard and to adopt L30 by consensus. Accordingly, we wish to echo the recent statement by the High Commissioner in Gaza, urging us, and I quote, to avert a new era of power politics that cast aside norms and institutions so painstakingly built to advance them. Our universal rights and fundamental humanity depend on reversing any such trajectory. I thank you.
You would remember we were the one who carried that video immediately after Francesca Albanese, came up with the report. This question was asked to State Department spokesperson Matt Miller, and the Matt Miller was very quick to dismiss the report by questioning her integrity. What he has said was that, the author of this report is anti-Semite. Why? Because way back in December or November or December, she has said that American politics is being controlled by Jewish lobby. So that's anti-Semitism. This is what he has said on two occasions. First, he said she was anti-Semitic. When he was asked on a day after, he had explained why he has said she was anti-Semitic.
And when it comes to the individual who holds that position, I can't help but note a history of anti-Semitic comments that she has made that have been reported.
She made anti-Semitic comments?
She has, and comments she made in December that appeared to justify the attacks of October 7th. So I think it's important to take that into account. But with respect to the report itself, we have made clear that we believe that allegations of genocide are unfounded.
So you see, one country, I have fond memories of my time, spent in South Africa for more than a month. And I liked the country then, and thank goodness they have not disappointed me till today. History will remember South Africa very kindly. God bless you, South Africa. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my video, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.